Hey, what is happening, everybody? It is Tuesday, the 27th of September. I'm here with my homie Miles. What's happening, buddy?
What's up, bro? I'm
How
excited.
are
This
you?
is a new show.
We're all good and set to go. So this is the first episode of our new show, Bits of Crypto. Should we get into it?
We should. Let's do
Let's
it.
do this. So this new format, Bits of Crypto, is just a little bit of crypto news with just a few bits more that we're going to be delivering to you as often as we can, hopefully twice a week to start, and then moving into daily as we progress. And how are you, buddy? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I think the show will be cool because it'll give you that like sneak peek into like what's happening with the market, give you that quick rundown, and then also give you alpha in a really easy to kind of digest manner. So I think it's good. Good. I'm really excited for this new show, and yeah, let's kick it off. Let's see
Let's
what's
kick it
happening on the
off.
markets.
Okay, let's see how we go. Here we go. So first big story of the day, and the one that we can't get away, it seems to be everywhere, is UK government. What's going on with the pound? They're just sending out tax cuts and borrowing more money. It seems that the government's announced tax cuts over the whole country. Liz is loving it, and the finance minister has said that with the new approach focused on growth and targeting a minimum 2.5% trend rate in economic growth, they believe that the tax cuts are necessary. And as a result, what's happened is the pound has taken an absolute pounding, and the UK government has basically cut interest rates and borrowed tens of billions of dollars to cover the energy crisis costs. So what do you reckon about all of this? It seems pretty crazy to me.
Well, I'd say the tax cuts are actually a response to the pound's collapse. So obviously, when you do have a currency being devalued against the US dollar, then you need to kind of implement a measure to, essentially force a backstop. So I think the tax cuts are just one way of them stimulating the economy because obviously, less tax means that businesses are more incentivized to spend, etc. And yeah, it's a form of stimulation without having to actually pump more dollars into the economy, which of course would be the next step if things started getting too ugly from a growth perspective.
Well, we've seen governments before. It looks like they're just borrowing more money to pass it on to the next government, right? It's not our problem. We'll borrow more money now, and we'll just hand it on to the next government later on. It's a
Yeah,
bit
seems to be the way with a lot of these a lot of monetary policy these days. It's like kind of just delaying the issue, kicking the can down the road a little bit.
yeah. So I think, do you reckon there's anyone else that can come in and save the UK right now? Do you reckon we'd have anyone out there who might be able to save the UK? Because I think I've got a feeling that if anyone can save the UK and the pound right now, it's this man. There he is.
I mean, that's essentially that'd be the last resort. Some more money, some more money printing.
It seems to be the response everyone's got these days. When all the fit hits the shan, you just get out there and print more cash, right? And here is a absolute perfect example of that. Japan is effectively doing the same thing. Japan has intervened in the currency market on Thursday to shore up the battered yen for the first time in, almost 20 years. It comes after the Bank of Japan on Thursday voted to keep interest rates super low. So they're probably one of the only countries right now who aren't raising the interest rates. But with the yen absolutely diving, they've stepped up and done a buyback. Was it? Did they do a bit of a buyback? I think it was.
Yeah. So essentially, what they're doing, I guess it's kind of like it's not money printing. It's kind of the opposite in a way. They're actually buying back their own currency. So they have bonds denominated in US dollars, treasury bonds that most central banks will hold. They're deciding to actually sell those bonds back into yen in order to kind of prop up their own currency a little bit because most global currencies are now experiencing a huge debasement in US dollar terms. So one of the ways that global currencies can kind of underpin their own economies is actually selling US dollars back into their own currency. So the yen was kind of like the Japanese were the first ones to exhibit that in practice. But I think that's something we could see happening from a lot of other nations as well going forward if this global currency crisis continues to get worse.
Yeah, an interesting chart that we saw as well earlier was this one, which was Bitcoin versus a stack of other currencies. And it seems that our little savior, Bitcoin, seems to be the one that's performing the best against the stack of other
Inflation hedge,
currencies right
some
now.
may call it.
Well, I mean, it seems like it's starting to come true. Maybe now is the time where Bitcoin steps up and takes the lead, and we get, it starts to take on the role that, Satoshi built it for in the first place.
Well, the thing is, Bitcoin in recent times has kind of shifted to that store of value narrative, and that's really what drew the massive attention to Bitcoin in the last cycle, and that was what resulted in that massive influx of liquidity into the crypto ecosystem. But going forward, when you think about the issues current currencies and countries are currently facing, their currencies are essentially being debased, and there's a lot of nations now that are not only dealing with high inflation, but they're losing value in foreign terms, especially relative to the US dollar. So in my opinion, long term, if we look on like a 5 to 10 plus year time horizon, the inflation hedge narrative, which Bitcoin hasn't proven to be very good at, I think it actually has a genuine chance of being a savior for some of these nations, especially some of the developing countries that have been struggling. So Bitcoin is an inflation hedge. Obviously, it's not. I mean, that's been proven. But if we take a really long-term perspective, I think given Bitcoin's qualities being hard money, sound money, having a limited supply, and having the technological benefits it does in terms of payments, makes it really equipped to step in and support a lot of these countries, whether that means holding a percentage of their reserves in Bitcoin or accepting this legal tender, etc. That's where I think Bitcoin's headed in the future. It's just going to take some time to play out.
It's definitely outperforming according to this chart, so that's good to see. Just on that topic as well, we've got crypto is dueling with the dollar to be this quarter's top performer. So at the moment, you've got Bitcoin and the USD or the Dixie just running up the chart at the moment, and they're the only two that are currently performing. This is basically a basket of 100 crypto assets has added 7.3% since the end of June, whereas stocks, bonds, commodities, gold all suffered losses. This is interesting. This is another interesting take on whether or not this can become an inflation hedge, actually, and whether crypto is going to start being used for what they originally planned it to be used for.
Too small of a, I mean, this article's kind of rubbish in the sense that it's too small of a sample size. So we would need this. We need this trend to continue over a longer period of time. It's interesting. It's interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's a good, like it said here, it's perhaps an early indicator. It's obviously too early to, draw too many conclusions from it, but it's also good to know that there is the chance that it's starting to work the way it's supposed to work, I suppose, which is what's important. Moving on. Let's get on with it. This story just keeps propping up for everyone right now. Our boy Do Kwon. So the red notice issued for Do Kwon, which everyone seems to be talking about. So Interpol has reportedly issued a red notice to law enforcement worldwide to arrest Do Kwon. What do you reckon about all this? I mean, it's all pretty self-explanatory right now. I mean, we've seen
can't hide. I mean, clearly he said on Twitter he wasn't running or hiding, but I mean, clearly he was, because now they've officially issued an international arrest warrant. So I'd be pretty worried if I were Do.
Sorry, what's that? Oh, we've just had hang on. One of our guys on the ground is sending us some info. Hang on, this could be breaking news, actually, everybody. Hang on, I think someone spotted Do Kwon. Just one sec.
I'm Donut, not Do Kwon. Who's Do Kwon? I'm Donut, but I might have your money. Oh, what's that? Gotta go.
Okay, so it wasn't Do Kwon, it was Donut. Donut's out and about. It's not Do Kwon, it's Donut. He's out there. But look, it'll be interesting to follow this and see where it leads to. I mean, in the early days, he was saying that he wasn't, and he's still saying that he's not running from anyone. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes back and turns himself in. So the Vassal fork from Cardano has successfully gone through. How about all that as well? What do you reckon about all that stuff?
Massive upgrade for the network. Really good for Cardano long term. But we've been waiting on it for so long at this point, it's hard to get excited. Although I do think it's going to facilitate a lot of great dApps actually launching on the chain. So it is bullish for Cardano. But, I mean, come on. This should happen months ago.
It should have happened months ago. And so we've got a statement here from the crew. They're going to let us know what took them so long and why the upgrade was delayed so many times and why it's taken so long to get to where we are. Here we are. Let's have a look. Okay. Well,
Good update.
that sums it all up then. Thanks very much for the update. Okay, moving on. So micro, macro, we're just going to run through a bit of what's going on. So the share market has plummeted again or gone down overnight. The US stocks closed lower on Monday on the market of fears over a stronger US dollar. So as the US dollar keeps going up, the share market keeps coming down. Any thoughts on that?
Correlated. Yeah, inversely correlated. So people tend to sell off out of risk assets into the dollar, and then they'll sell out of the dollar into risk assets. It's kind of been that a tale as old as time. So that's basically just being reflected in the equities markets right now.
Yep, and we got this statement from Fed Chairman Powell the other day. So initially it was, we're fine with, as long as we have a strong jobs market, the economy will be fine. And now he seems to have pivoted to, there will be job losses. What are your thoughts on that one? He's kind of backwards, just backtracking a little bit here.
Just getting more hawkish. I mean, he's kind of towing the line very well with these statements. So you can tell definitely deliberately sliding in some hawkish undertones to cool down markets. And honestly, it's working. I mean, look at the panic out there right now. The sentiment's pretty grim, not only in crypto, but in the stock market and real estate. So, yeah, I mean, it's just Jerome Powell doing his job as usual.
Yeah, that's the one. So on to the rest of the week, things to look out for. So we have here, where are we? On Tuesday. So there's another speech, which is going to be tomorrow. So we're in Tuesday in Melbourne, Australia, but then this will be Tuesday US time. So there's another speak. He's doing a speak on digital finance, which is going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Then moving into Wednesday, the pending home sales index is probably what we want to be looking out for to see where that kind of goes, because that's going to be
for real estate.
One of the leading indicators. And then on to Thursday, initial jobless claims, I'm kind of thinking could be something we want to be watching out for.
Look at Friday, man. Look at Friday.
Then on Friday.
Massive
big day. So PCE price index, the core PCE price index. You've got, where is he? Is he speaking again? I thought he was speaking again. I
think he's speaking next week. He spoke twice this week. Yeah. Spoke twice this week.
And on this one, so there's a lot to look out for there over the next week.
PC is massive. It will give us more of an indicator as to how the economy is actually performing, especially from a production perspective. So one to keep your eye on. Exactly.
Then moving on. Now, this is interesting. This kind of falls in line with what we said before with Japan purchasing back currency. China has directed their state banks to buy back stocks.
It's crazy, man. This is something we usually only see during like QE environments, and like they're dealing with high inflation, and they're buying back stocks. So it's. I mean, in some people are saying it's a vote of confidence in their economy. I think it's slightly reckless. It's not monetary policy that I'd personally recommend if I was running their economy, but what do I know?
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up the macro look for the moment. So let's jump onto the markets. Bang, good old fear and greed index, minus 21, grim. Bubbles are going crazy. Lunar C is just pumping out of nowhere.
Nuts.
It's just crazy. And Bitcoin's had a pump this morning, and it's sitting at 19,777 within our range. Looks to me like this thing is just going to be range bound for a while. Long and short ratio is interesting. It still looks like we're in favor of the long, so that could kind of signal more downside. But yeah, that's pretty much what we've got for the market for now.
Just from the previous point. No, just from the previous point, I don't necessarily think it signals more downside. I think there's just been a little bit of a pivot over the past few days. I think the risk reward actually, in my opinion, remains to the upside, just given the fact that I mean, we've already come down quite a lot, quite strongly, quite sharply, and quite quickly, and that's something that we usually do see reversal when that occurs. And then also we'll talk about this in a minute or so, but we're heading into midterms at the start of November, and
Yeah, that's a big
and
deal.
October's usually a very bullish month that averages, I think, 22% increase. So month to month, it's hard to be like, personally, I'm not expecting new lows in October like a lot of people are. Of course, I may be wrong, but it just feels to me risk rewards to the upside. So that's kind of how I'm trading accordingly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just jump straight into the quickfire stuff for now. Obviously, that Lunar C pump is off the back of Binance, and they're initiating the burn for the token, which is interesting. So they've agreed to jump on board with the Lunar C burn, and that's obviously what's pumping the price.
And they flip flopped. They said they wouldn't, and they said they
wouldn't. Now they're back to it. Yeah.
Now they are, and it's just it is what it is. At the end of the day, just a very quick way to summarize the Lunar C thing. Buyback, artificial burns never work. It ruins and undermines the integrity of why L1s exist, right? They're supposed to be a fair market, an efficient market, and they're supposed to reward real usage. When you implement artificial burns that aren't based on revenue generation, that's dangerous, undermines the point of a blockchain. And to me, this just seems like an attempt from a pretty desperate Luna community to make back some gains. And we made some amazing gains trading Luna C. Don't get me wrong. I love money just as the next guy. But in terms of fundamentals here, you're kidding yourself if you think Luna C is a good project. And I've been pretty clear on that like the whole time I was talking about it.
Top analysts say a short squeeze is incoming. Widely followed crypto analyst is predicting an abrupt rally for a trio of digital assets, and it looks like this is already kind of kicked off, as far as I can tell.
It's Michael Vanderpope. I mean, look, I think the word short squeeze is very cringy in crypto because, I mean, it basically doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have much underlying substance. How I would describe it is probably like relief rally. I don't think it necessarily will be short squeezed. I think it will just be like a general shift in sentiment if that rally actually does occur. But it's just semantics at that point.
On to new white paper from Cosmos. This is interesting. The blockchains are they upgrading? The new white paper release of the Cosmoverse proposes major expansion, new tokenomics, all the rest of it.
Oh yeah, there's great new tokenomics that actually launched today. So it's actually the Atom conference right now. So that's why we're seeing a lot of Atom hype, a lot of Atom news, because there's a lot of announcements coming. One of which is the new tokenomics, the new security upgrades to the chain with the 2.0 white paper. So that's exciting for Atom fans, and not just Atom fans, but the projects building on Atom, because that's the main thing, right? With the ecosystem.
It is indeed. And Mars too. This is interesting because these guys are building on Osmosis, aren't they? So they finally found a home, and they're launching.
They Osmosis? Are they Cosmos or Osmosis?
Osmosis, I think. Yeah, from what I understand.
And that's built on Cosmos.
And it's good for all those people who were into this when they were on Terra. It's good to see they found a new home, and it's good to see that they're jumping in. They've released a new white paper. It's probably worth having a read if you were interested in the project before, because to me, it actually looks like it's going to be a bit stronger moving forward, which is great.
Good devs, good project. Just unfortunate what happened.
Yeah. And then the same with your mates. These guys, you're loving these guys at the moment. Chili's. Their new test net's live, and they've got a new vision and a new roadmap that they've updated that's up here for everyone to take a look at. So leading into the World Cup, you were big on this, and you probably still are really big on this. What do you reckon about this one?
Well, I think in order to do this theme justice, we need to trigger one thing. So every day we're going to give you a play of the day. And every Bits of Crypto show, we're going to give you what we're doing right now. Now, what I've been doing for a couple of weeks, and I'm sorry you're late to the party, but I did say this on Crypto Banter and my Twitter last week, but in case you weren't aware, the World Cup is in 2 months. And Chili's is essentially the main provider of fan tokens. So you can trade fan tokens on their Socios exchange. And then also they have a lot of athlete endorsement deals. So I think just surrounding the hype around the World Cup, obviously 6.5 billion viewers in Qatar, the biggest viewed World Cup of all time, Algorand, the official blockchain partner, and Chili's, the official token, will be seeing quite a lot of hype. Whether this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event, probably is. Still could be some room for growth here. That's why I started accumulating Chili's last week, as I said on last week's show. So Yeah, I like Chili's a lot as a project long term. Short term, I think it's a good World Cup play. Long term, very good project because soccer is one of those industries which is tangible. Like it has a real fan base and it's the biggest sport in the world. So like, why not back infrastructure surrounding that?
Not only that, their fans are dedicated, right? These are people who want to be part of the community. They want to be involved. So when there's an opportunity out there to be involved on a club level, and this is the first time that they're going to get that opportunity, then you can almost guarantee they're going to get involved into it somehow. So yeah, it was a good call by you on the show. I think
Did it do well?
Yeah, since you made that call, I mean,
Wow.
which would have been, what are we on? Yeah, it would have been back
Oh,
here
it
somewhere.
was like
15th of September. Yeah. So you're up 40% on that trade since then. So that was a really good call. For my play of the day right now, I was just looking at an ETH long, but it looks like we've just popped out a little bit. If we come back in and test this area around 13.47, 13.45, I'll be looking to long back up to this liquidity pocket up here or this order block where it looks like ETH is going to be heading to. It's also pretty strong resistance up here, so I'll be looking to get in on trade on that one.
What if, so you're looking for the immediate retest. What if we break through 13.76 and retest the upwards horizontal? Is that also somewhere you'd take a long, or the risk reward not great for you there?
No, I wouldn't take a long. I wouldn't take a long past this point. I'd go on the retest with a really tight stop loss in here. And then, to be honest, if we do get this pump up here before any kind of pullback, I would probably, as the next play, be looking to short this area up here at around 1470 because it's really strong resistance. Chances are we're going to be getting a run, something along either down and then up to this area. I'd say probably coming back to here and then further continuation, if we're lucky, into the midterms, which is kind of what you and I have both been spouting on about recently.
Yep. I reckon that's valid analysis. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that's us, man. Like, well done. That's the first show. Done and dusted. Easy peasy. Bits of crypto. We're coming out twice a week to start.
Twice a week. Just before we head off, thank you to the sponsor, Block Wallet. They're basically a MetaMask alternative, but honestly, I think the UI is arguably better than MetaMask. So if you want to check out Block Wallet, link in the description. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And also make sure you like and subscribe. If you enjoyed, let us know in the comments if we should continue doing this. It'll get better as time goes on. We're testing it out. I think we did all right, but we need some time to warm into the new format.
Into the format.
but I do think it's good because we can. This won't usually be 23 minutes. This will usually be 15 minutes.
The idea is to get them 15. We want to keep them. We want to keep them short and fun and to the point. And obviously we've gone a little bit over this one, but now we'll get used to it as we go. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have fun, and we'll be back on Friday for the next Bits of Crypto.
See you later,
bro.
Peace.
Have fun.